I love the idea of having assets in cheese.
Yeah, I got a lot of money tied up in cheese right now.
Yeah, exactly. How much of your net worth is in cheese? I got about 20% cheese.
Yeah, I'm 20% cheese, 15% crypto, and the rest is liquid. Liquid cheese, not liquid cash, it's liquid cheese.
They say home is where the heart is, so I wonder why a motherfucker always feeling heartless.
I love the idea of having assets in cheese.
Yeah, I got a lot of money tied up in cheese right now.
Yeah, exactly. How much of your net worth is in cheese? I got about 20% cheese.
Yeah, I'm 20% cheese, 15% crypto, and the rest is liquid. Liquid cheese, not liquid cash, it's liquid cheese. Realize that the people that listen to the show, we don't know. And we don't really use the doubly negative Instagram. So I was gonna start peppering in the Instagrams, but it feels too corny and cheesy.
Feels a little corny. Yeah, I would like to know the people though. Who are
Yeah.
they?
Yeah. So some interaction. Tito Bulls on Instagram. Kyle Cast.
Kyle Cast ATX.
What is the ATX?
Austin, Texas.
Well, you need to update that.
Yeah,
Kyle Cast is dead.
That.
Kyle Cast is dead. Austin, Texas is in the back.
Yeah, when should I make it?
Doubly Kyle.
I like that. I wonder if that's available.
It's got to be. Maybe I'll change mine to doubly Chris.
Oh, that's so like
cute.
That's when you've made it. When your handle is like your business. So
yeah. Fake it till you make it, they say.
Yeah.
We're on the same page.
So,
I am semi-recovered from COVID. The energy levels are coming back, and the cough is still kind of here, but I'm getting through. It's crazy how much you take for granted, like feeling healthy. When you're in those long sicknesses, sometimes you feel like this is just how I'm gonna be forever. This is it. I was taking naps. I don't take naps. Michelle came home and I was just sleeping one day after work. I was just exhausted. But part of me was thinking, am I just gonna be that sleepy guy now? Because it was a couple of days in a row where I was ready to just hit the pillow immediately. And I thought this was my transition into being an old man.
Yeah, when those changes in how we feel happen, and when they last, it doesn't even take that long, but when they last just a little bit, you start adapting to it, but also just worrying, like you said, like, is that going to be forever?
Yeah, and it's kind of depressing when you think of it as, oh, that's what it's like to be older, just feeling low energy, tired, and you see dads at get-togethers, they're the first ones sleeping on the couch, just nodding off. That's like the joke. He sleeps everywhere. It was kind of a glimpse into COVID was a glimpse into the future, always just feeling terrible. And I didn't like that.
It makes me wonder if it's actually, like you say, like feeling tired all the time, feeling sore all the time, or do you just gradually get used to it and that's just like normal to you now? Like how I feel now, I wonder if it's vastly different from how I felt when I was 15 physically. If I could just transport myself back into my 15-year-old body, would I realize, oh, I felt way better back then? Because honestly, right now, it just feels normal to me.
Yeah.
It's weird.
For once, you're the one saying, well, it could be this. On like the bright side, usually that's my job on the podcast.
True. But you are the one that always says, oh, I'm old. Oh, we're getting old. I usually fight you on that.
Yeah. I think maybe I'm being a little dramatic. And it probably had to do with the 4-month groin injury I was dealing with. So I thought that was just real life.
Yeah.
Going forward too. So I was like, all right, this is it. This is just my body breaking down.
But now you're on the mend and you're a spry chicken.
Yeah, spry chicken. Even the groin feels good. I think I can't go for a run yet because I'm coughing, but yeah, it does. But I'm ready to get moving again. The energy levels are up. I want to go do things.
And you're wearing a t-shirt. Look at you.
Yes. So I thought I had spoken about this. Maybe I dreamed about it or had the nightmare, but I had to make the switch, Kyle.
The switch.
You already know what the switch is, but for building it up purposes, I acted like you didn't.
And I pretend I didn't as well.
Yep. I'm wearing extra large shirts now, Kyle. I'm not a large anymore.
Woo. Big boy.
Yep, not a large anymore. But the good news is I lost a couple pounds over COVID, even though my appetite was crazy. I think COVID kind of fixed me too, in a way. So I recommend it for anyone who's looking to have it and hasn't had it yet. COVID will fix you. I'm not
Really?
eating as much now. Like I still eat what I'm supposed to, but I'm not overindulging. And it's been like that since I got COVID and has followed along like into post-COVID Chris. I'm not eating as much. So maybe that's what I needed.
Yeah, that whole cliche thing is like you go through a period where you don't eat too much and your stomach shrinks. Is what they say. Maybe that's what's happened to you.
Yeah.
But maybe you also get a break from your routine. So
yeah,
now you
fingers
got a chance
crossed.
to make a change.
Yeah, and like a lot changed. Like obviously I wasn't drinking while I had COVID. I wasn't smoking weed while I had COVID. And usually like I would smoke probably a little bit of weed a day. So I had stretches of days where it was just completely sober Chris, which is something I guess that doesn't happen regularly. As a pothead, you don't really, it's not that I smoke a shit ton daily, just very little amounts daily. But it's still altering my mindset slightly. So I was like, when was the last time I went on like a stretch of days like this where there was just absolutely nothing? I'm not even drinking good caffeine anymore. I don't need caffeine.
Was that a conscious choice or was that just COVID? You didn't want to drink coffee?
Well, this started actually like right before COVID. And then I was just realizing, oh, I'm not really going to get coffee at work or anything anymore. And when I would go get a coffee, I would take like 2 sips and I'd be like done with it. And then on days where I don't work, I don't go out and get a coffee. And then I started realizing that when I would have caffeine, like Monster energy drinks or something, I felt like my anxiety was like pumping up. So now I feel like I don't need it. Like for some reason, that I was never that guy where I was like, oh, that makes me anxious when I have caffeine. That's another old guy thing, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, caffeine it gets my heart going. I used to be able to drink caffeine until it was coming out of my eyes, up until like a month ago. Now 31 is 14 days away, 13 days away, and I can't deal with it.
Most of the time for me, it feels like coffee doesn't even really do anything to me. Like it feels like I'm doing it out of habit more than anything.
And just like liking the taste. It's something you like. That's something you look forward to in the morning.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'll still stop and get an Americano. I love iced Americanos.
And I've never had a problem. A lot of people will say they get withdrawals when they stop drinking coffee for a day or two. I never had a problem not drinking coffee.
No, me either.
But I just do it. But like you too, there was a period. I think I didn't even drink coffee. Well, I don't know if it's normal or not, but I didn't drink coffee until my mid-20s. I think I never even wanted to. But then I had a period where I was drinking so much fucking coffee, like so much, like 10 cups a day, or something like that.
That's what I was doing for a while at work.
But yeah, whatever. But I just realized that I haven't done kratom in over a month because I was in Sumba. Just got back and I'll probably do it again. But kind of like coffee for me.
Yeah. It's one of those things that I like it when I have it, but it doesn't need to be a daily thing.
Yeah.
So, do you think people get so hooked and addicted to coffee because of? This might be just a stupid thought, but I feel like everyone in the world's like, oh, gotta have my coffee, love my coffee. I'm so addicted to coffee. I think that starts with just other people saying it and you wanting to fit in once you get your license. Let's go to Dunkin'. I need my coffee. It's like, you're 16, you don't.
I think there's some of that. I think you're absolutely right. I think that's a lot of people. I do think that different drugs affect different people differently, and there's probably plenty of people that are legitimately addicted to caffeine. But I do think there's a very big cultural component to it, like you're saying, and that's a very annoying thing. You just emulate.
Don't talk to me till I have my coffee.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. It's bullshit. Yeah.
But I will say, my wife is genuinely addicted to coffee, and it's kind of adorable in the morning because she takes her Adderall in the morning, but she doesn't take it till after she eats. So she'll brew a cup of coffee and her head's all over the place. and then she'll forget she had that cup of coffee, and then she'll brew another one. So sometimes I'll wake up and
Yeah,
there's just
you've
coffee.
mentioned that.
Yeah, there's just
Yeah.
and it's adorable. I find it so funny and cute. But yeah, don't talk to me till I've had my morning coffee. Don't like it.
Um,
I think I just hate when people have really strong opinions on stupid things. Kind of branch off
like
into
the
something
pineapple
else.
on pizza that we
Yeah.
mentioned last time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, it's still bothering me.
I'm the same way, man. I remember having some sort of I wouldn't call it an epiphany, but just this strong feeling. It was years ago, but the idea that people make identities out of very trivial things.
Yeah.
And I think I was having it in relation to like sports teams,
Well, I'm
and I
out.
was even
I'm out
yeah,
on
I was
that
gonna
one.
say I was a bigger fan. I'm still a fan of Manchester United, but I was a very big fan of Manchester United back then. And I remember just kind of realizing like, why is this part of my identity? You can like something without making it part of your identity. And I think that's what you're talking about with coffee is like the way you describe yourself. There's a difference between saying I like coffee and I like Manchester United and saying I am a fan or I am addicted to coffee. That when you say it like that, it seems like a very subtle thing. It seems kind of meaningless, but I think it's actually pretty big. It's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, and you make that part of your identity.
So I think it has a lot to do with maybe age group. This might sound silly, but we got into soccer probably around the same time. You a little bit before me, but I remember I also made it like a massive part of my. I would wear a soccer jersey like every day, and I think that was part of the whole. Oh, I like soccer. You don't like. You're missing out. Like I have something in my head that tells me this is good. You don't understand. You wouldn't get it. And when we started liking soccer, not a lot of people really were into the sport at all. It's gotten a lot bigger over here in the States. Obviously, elsewhere it's massive, but here where we're living, it's not like a big thing. I talked to Pete about that too. He said like the same thing. Like he thought it was like we thought it was cool that we liked soccer, and no one else did.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, there's a little bit of like elitism
Yeah,
there.
and for
I
no
definitely
reason. It's such a stupid thing, but I mean, we were. I was in high school. Like it was one of those things where stand out a little bit. Maybe someone will think you're unique for liking this.
I think it also has to do with and I don't mean to make it into a super negative thing. It's not negative. It's just the way I feel about this whole thing. Is it reminds me of that period in middle school and then high school when a lot of people start dressing really different. Like I became very punk. I wanted to be punk, and I started. I mean, I liked that music, but I took it to the extreme. I wanted to identify myself as that,
Yeah,
and we go through different phases, and I think it has to do with trying to figure out who you are.
yeah,
It's not really knowing who you are, what you like, and you look for that in other people and fads and trends and people you look up to, musicians or whatever. You say, well, I don't know who I am, but I like that person. I want to be more like that person, like your friends too.
mm-hmm.
And you kind of adopt these things as part of your identity because yeah, you're trying to figure out who you are.
Yeah. I went through a little phase like that too, punk, like very like small t-shirts. I know now I'm in the
Me
XL.
too.
Things have changed, but really small t-shirts, tight pants,
Yep.
cutting jeans into like short shorts.
I shopped at Hot Topic.
You all right? I didn't do that.
Yeah, that's
Did
that's
you
a
paint
that's
your
a
nails?
shameful truth. I never painted my nails. No.
That was where you drew the line. So you were
I
a
think the
homophobic
most
punk, is what you were
yes.
saying.
I think the farthest I took it, and this was pretty far, but I had a jean jacket and I
Those are cool
bought
again.
patches from I think it was a website called Interpunk, if I'm not wrong. You
Yeah.
could buy all sorts of like patches and clothing and stuff, and I bought patches of my favorite bands. And of course, I would even like Google and stuff like, or it was probably wasn't Google back then. It was probably like Alta Vista or some shit.
No, you were on
Like,
Ask Jeeves, dude.
yeah, I was on Ask Gene saying like, what is the punkest band? Like, what is real? Because I didn't want to be like a fake punk, a poser, if you
Yeah,
will.
yeah, yeah. Because that's big.
So
You cannot be a
yeah,
poser, especially in that scene.
yeah.
They'll sniff you right out.
So I went like Against All Authority, Rancid, The Unseen. Like I tried to find the most punk band possible. The ones that like you have to agree that that fits the label. And I put those patches on my jean jacket. Actually, I think I made my mom do it.
That's so punk, dude.
I had my mom put patches on a jean jacket. That's so punk.
That's so fucking punk, dude. Rock on.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And I looked up to the other kids in school too. Like there was a lot of kids in the grade above me. I don't even remember their names, but they were super punk, and I looked up to them.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're doing what I want to be doing.
Josh Ether was definitely one of them. Josh Ether's group.
Super punk.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I remember like when I was like in elementary school, there was this kid that always wore like Hardy Boys memorabilia, and I was a huge Hardy Boys fan. So I was like, that guy's
You
fucking
mean
cool.
The wrestler.
Yes.
Wrestlers.
Yeah. Not. Oh, isn't that like a book series?
Yeah, that's
I
what
don't-
had me confused.
I don't read. Is that a good book series? Is it about the Swanton
I don't know.
Bomb?
Yeah,
The twist of fate.
Probably, yeah.
They've fallen on hard times. There was a video that came out recently. Jeff Hardy got caught. It was a DUI. He's had problems. Poor guy.
It's not really surprising.
You hate to see it when your heroes fall.
So about your shirt switch.
Back to the XL. All right. All right.
Is that that's gonna be admitting defeat in a little bit. It's kind of admitted
Yeah,
defeat.
thanks. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Kyle, I'll take the floor. It is a little bit like admitting defeat, but I've been here before. I've been here before.
You've previously made the switch.
Yes. When I
So
was
shouldn't
younger.
you already have some XL clothes, or you just wanted some more? Or what was it? What's going
Well,
on?
this was a really long time ago. The
Okay.
XL shirts, but I have had to fit. I don't want to say squeeze into an XL because I'm definitely not squeezing. I'm fitting very nicely. Definitely had to put an XL shirt on before in the past, and I bounced back. I made the recovery, and maybe this is what is gonna say, "Hey, Chris, come on." And you know what's funny? Michelle called me because she went and got me shirts. I don't do my own shopping because I would wear the same shirts until I'm in the grave. You'll see me at my 90th funeral in this shirt. 90th
Me too.
funeral. So I just predicted I'll be dying at 90. Okay. So she called me. She went, "Hey, babe, I don't care at all. You know, you're in an XL and stuff now, but it is a little bit more expensive. So, you know, maybe slim down a bit and get to the largest."
It's more expensive?
I think so.
I guess that makes sense logically, but I never thought that.
More fabric.
I thought they were. Yeah, it does make sense, but
I would have
Huh.
started a movement while I'm in this phase of XL. It's unfair for the people that need more fabric. It's not our fault.
discriminatory.
Big is beautiful. I'm beautiful.
Yeah,
You can't be charging me more in these times.
it's a sizist.
Inflation is hitting the fatties harder than any other group.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and I won't stand for it. This is not fair.
Tell me if this is a quintessential fat person thing too.
Why are you
Um,
asking me? Why are you asking me?
We both know.
Come on, ask.
How much do you relate to this? I have so many clothes that are too small, and I should give them away or throw them away, but I just always say, no. I'll be back. I'll be back.
Dude, I've got mediums where I'm like, no, I like that shirt. I'll be back in a medium.
Yeah.
I'll never be
Yeah,
back
yeah,
in a
yeah.
medium until the day I die.
Tika
Unless I
bought
get
me
a
bunch
tape
of
one.
shirts. Tika bought me a bunch of shirts. They're nice shirts, but they're just not. They're not going to work. They're not fitting. If I put them on, it's just like the bulges are in the wrong places. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She bought them for me. I don't know, damn near a year ago, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna fit into those pretty soon. I'm working on it.
Dude,
I'm
I've
gonna-
been saying that for so long.
yeah, and I am farther away than ever, probably now. I don't know. I haven't tried again, but yeah, that's a fact of my life. I don't have many possessions, Chris, but when I put my suitcase together, a fairly large percentage of it is clothes that I cannot wear, but I will.
One
I
of these
will.
days. Yeah, I
These
do
days.
that. Yeah, that's something where Michelle's like, maybe we throw away some of your clothes, and I go, no. I'm gonna fit in those again.
Yep.
So yeah, nope, that's you hit the nail right on the head. You hit the donut right in the hole. Get it, donut hole?
I could go for some donuts.
Yeah, not me. Nope, I'm cutting the weight. I am down
There
like
you
5
go.
pounds, so
Nice.
and it's staying off. It's not like going back up at the end of the day. when you weigh yourself and you're like, oh, okay. So things are moving right along. So why don't we get into our new segment? Not new anymore. This is the third episode we've done it. Did we skip it last week?
We did.
We love coming up with segments, being like, that's going to work, doing it once and then never going back to it. So this is one I think it actually should stick.
It should. It's good.
Yeah, because can I request that you read it because my vision's really bad and I don't have my glasses on?
Certainly.
I feel like you're a
This
better
is
reader.
this is the one you sent to me, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the segment we're talking about, in case you're unaware, is Chris and I both like Reddit, and we both like this one subreddit called Relationship Advice, and we had both been reading it independently until we talked about it for the first time. We realized, oh, we both like this, and
I've been on
we
that for a
both-
while just because like it's not even so much so that I'm seeking relationship advice. Some of the train wrecks on that subreddit, it's a very like there's so many good posts where I'm like, holy fucking, like what are you doing? Like, but it's just very, very interesting. It's not necessarily a place you need to go for if you're seeking advice, or it's just fun to peek into other people's lives.
Same. Yeah, I don't think I've ever went on there for that purpose. I've never posted a question myself.
Nope.
And I've never actually read something that really helped me in my life either. It's more of like
0%.
It's just entertainment value. And that's
Yeah.
the same for there's a couple others that you probably like. I'm gonna guess. We've never talked about them. But I like TIFU.
Yeah,
know that
today
one?
I fucked up.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that one.
Confessions is
And-
good.
Which one?
Confessions.
I'm gonna have to take a look at that one. I've never been on there.
Unpopular opinion, just people throwing out that one is kind of
One's
there
okay.
for the douche chills, just because it's like you're being a contrarian. Stop it.
And sometimes it's the opposite. It's like pandering. It's like they say it's unpopular, it's not at all. Actually, that's
Unpopular opinion. I think everyone should get the vaccine.
unpopular opinion. I think racists are assholes. Like fuck you, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
obviously that's a popular opinion, but
how about AITA?
am I the asshole? Good one.
I like that one.
Yep. And it's a
That
lot
one's
of it.
that
Go
one
ahead.
could work for this segment too. That
Yeah.
one could really work.
Yeah, so actually this will be a sub. We give advice on these questions. The only thing about am I the asshole? I'm pretty sure there's a podcast that does that pretty regularly. I think it's KFC Radio does it. I used to listen to them back in the day, and that sounds familiar. So
Well,
fuck them.
we
We'll
put
do
our own
whatever we
spin.
want.
Yeah.
Okay.
all right. Well, anyway, yeah, I think you figured it out by now. But the segment is we pick a post, we read it, and we're gonna react.
Mhm.
So here's this one. Chris found this one. The title is "The More I Love My Partner, the Less I Love Myself." This post is a really tough one to write, mainly because it means admitting on paper something that has been quietly brewing within me for a while. I have a partner whom I love deeply. I love her more than I've loved anyone else. And sadly, I love her more than I love myself.
How cute.
Ever since she's entered my life, I feel ashamed of the person I was before meeting her. I feel ashamed of my family, my friends. Suddenly, nothing is good enough anymore. She has become everything to me, and I am truly despaired by that fact. I am living in a constant state of anxiety, dreading the thought that she might leave me one day. I feel like I'm terribly sick with a case of imposter syndrome, as if she will, quote unquote, call my bluff any day now, and realize how much I'm suffering from within. Breaking up with her isn't an option. It's me I need to work on. How can I love her and myself at the same time? I need to find balance in life. Has anyone ever experienced this feeling before?
So I admittedly didn't go through the comments. I found that one at work and I screenshotted it and I forgot to go back to it. But yeah, that goes
Even better.
Yeah.
I've only seen your screenshot. I've also not looked at the post, so we can react honestly because that does happen. Sometimes you read the comments and that actually influences your opinion. So I like that we haven't read the comments.
Yes. So I thought this was because we've talked about imposter syndrome a handful of times, more so recently than in the past, and having that feeling of, oh no, they're gonna figure me out. They know I'm an idiot, like at your job. I've never really experienced this in a relationship, I don't think. Have you?
No, I don't think so.
No. Do you think that means we have a level of self-confidence in ourselves if we're not feeling this in our relationships, but we are feeling it in other places?
Yes, in a certain way. I think because the first place my mind went when you asked me that question, have I ever felt it before, is like, I don't think so. But maybe I did back when it was like my first girlfriend or the first girl that liked me. Because I think I have a certain self-confidence in relationships. I could see this type of person who's writing this feeling they are not worthy of love from a romantic partner. And I could see the source of this I see is they think they kind of got lucky with this person. If this person leaves them, they're never going to find that again. And I don't have that feeling. I haven't had that for years.
No.
And maybe you're the same way. Maybe that's why we don't have that. But that's where I think this probably comes from.
I've always been very confident in my skills as a partner.
Hmm.
And I think that's why. That's like the one thing I am very confident in. I'm a very good husband. Yeah, obviously I fuck up. I'm a normal guy, but I am very easy to be with, I think.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, I feel the same. I'm not a husband, but yeah, I feel the same type of thing.
Yeah, so that I think that's where well, why guys like you and I don't get it, where we have imposter syndrome somewhere else, but not, in our relationships, because we are confident. And maybe in other spots, well, definitely in other spots we aren't, obviously. So yeah, I've never felt this in a relationship. So I'm very thankful for that. And I feel like this, like I feel very bad for this person that wrote this post.
I was just going to say that. Me too. I think this is a very bad place to be in. And one of the other places my mind goes is like, it reminds me of, have you ever heard the idea, and I don't know, maybe this is debunked or maybe it's not true, but have you ever heard the idea that if you are really insecure about your partner cheating on you, it's possible to actually influence them to do that? Like, let's say maybe you were accusing them all the time, or you were insecure about them cheating on you all the time, and somehow that makes them more likely to cheat. You know what I'm talking about? You think that's true?
Yeah, I don't know if that's true. I think it's just such a high like probability of cheating. Like I feel like a lot of relationships go through this, that I don't know if there's any correlation. I think it's just, well, yeah, obviously.
Maybe I think what I'm talking about,
So were you saying like if I'm the one doing the accused is more likely to cheat, or me, the one who's accusing, is the one likely to cheat?
I know the one you're talking about too. I think that's true too. Like they say
I
that,
think that one actually has some weight to it.
yeah, if you're accusing a lot, then that means maybe you've got some guilt somewhere and you're kind of projecting your
Yeah,
feelings of guilt on the other person. There's definitely something to that. But
I
I
hold more
also
weight
think
in that than I do the other.
I think it's also true though that especially if the accuser is really persistent and kind of makes the other person suffer a lot, then it might make the accused, even if they're not cheating, maybe they kind of seek solace in their friend. They say, hey, my partner keeps saying this, and they eventually get the feeling like, well, he already thinks I'm cheating. I'm just going to do it anyway.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's going to happen a lot, but anyway, the point I'm trying to make is like these things can become self-fulfilling prophecies. And if this guy, I think it's a guy writing this post, if he really feels like he's not good enough for his partner on that level, he really deep down feels that, that's going to rub off. And it's just not a good thing for the relationship in general. Putting someone on a pedestal like that, worrying all the time about them leaving, like that's rough.
just living in that perpetual state of dread and terror that something awful is going to go wrong in that relationship, and then focusing all your time trying to, be that person that you think they want you to be, not realizing that they like you for the person you already are.
I think that's exactly it. I think you just nailed it. I
Yeah,
think.
I think
I
that's
wouldn't be surprised if that's what the comments are too. I would guess that's what the comments are. It's like, relax, she likes you.
yeah, she's already
Um,
said yes to being in a relationship with you.
Yep.
That post was a few days ago, so I'll struggle finding that again. Oh,
I
unless
don't
we
think it would
look
be
up
that
by
hard.
no, you look up by the username.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you search the
Hold on,
username,
let me see if I've got anything else here.
yes.
It's me I need to work on. How can I love her and myself at the same time?
I feel like that's not a good statement either. It's him. It's like, why does me I need to work on?
Hmm.
He needs to work on these feelings. It depends on how he's phrasing that, because he needs to work on the feelings he's having about the situation as it is, not work on himself to become better for the partner.
Yeah, I'm reminded of another thing I can say about myself here too. I think this was a big part of getting more mature and growing up is feeling like, okay, I'm not enough right now. I'm not good enough right now. But and weight and fitness has always been a part of this for me. I used to have this feeling a lot. It was one of the first times I had this epiphany that changing yourself outwardly is not going to fix that internal problem. Because I remember when I was a fat kid, middle school and early high school, I always had this feeling like I'm not good enough. If I lose the weight, if I get normal or fit, I'm gonna be good enough. Um, but that's not true. It doesn't work like that. You can't make external changes like that and then all of a sudden feel good enough. So I think, and I think this is probably what you were saying anyway, but I think he's coming at it from the wrong place. You're not going to work on yourself and then become good enough. It's just not how it works. And I would wonder what this person is even thinking. Um, what how are you going to work on yourself and then all of a sudden be good enough for her? It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, like, what are you working on to become good enough? Like, what is your idea of
Mm,
what you need to do in order to be okay for this person? And I do want to touch on something you said about the whole fitness thing, where you try to change it, like, oh, once I'm in this shape, I'll feel better. I was thinking about that the other day, like, thinking back about when I was in really good shape and, I was powerlifting and lifting a bunch of weight. I never thought I looked good or anything like that. But when I look at the pictures now, I'm like, yeah, I actually looked really fucking good. I was pretty jacked.
mm-hmm.
But in that moment, I felt bleh, like, no, I look awful. But I was actually looking jacked. So I had done it. And I got to keep that in mind for when I get rejacked, because it's going to happen now that I'm in the XL.
Well, that same mechanism plays out over and over, and I've noticed that exact same thing for myself. And I might have even seen a Reddit post about this too. I don't remember, or we might have talked about it, but I feel that way pretty much all the time.
Constantly?
Like whenever I look in the mirror, most of the time. I don't know. I don't know if I can say most of the time, but I felt that definitely periodically throughout my life, and it's something I feel now too. I haven't really looked in the mirror very closely for a while, but pretty much invariably when I look at old pictures of myself, I'm never really like, I don't think I look that bad. It's always like in the moment. I think
Yeah.
that's what you're talking about too, right?
Yeah. I think, too, there's a sliding, like, your expectations for yourself change based on where you are. So when I was there, I thought I wasn't looking good or, jacked, whatever it is. And it's because I wanted to be, my goal was different then. My goal now is to look like I did. My goal
I
then
think
was
that's
to look,
exactly it.
it's just the sliding scale of what your expectations for yourself are.
Bingo. I think that's what it is. Yeah. And regardless of where you get to, if you come from that same place of inadequacy, your sliding scale is always going to be moving farther. So it doesn't matter how far you take it. You're always going to feel like you're not enough.
Yeah.
That's what it is. The scale slides. That's exactly it.
So how do we get that scale? I don't, if anyone's listening and have been in that situation, have you ever reached the point where you're completely content with what you looked like? Or in whatever, it could be job, career, whatever. Because it's not just a fitness thing. So has anyone actually ever been satisfied with, like, okay, you have?
Yep.
When was this?
I have.
And what's your secret?
I think it's manic depression.
Yeah, all right.
bipolar type 2, I think
Yeah.
is what the secret is.
Yeah, you just
Um,
have to be manic. You're like, I'm the
yes,
shit.
legitimately, yeah. There's been a handful of episodes when I've gone through what I've just talked about on this podcast a little bit before, but hypomania is just a state of elevated energy and mood and self-confidence and all the good things. It's great. And yeah, one of them is a time period that I talk about a little bit when 2017, when I was living in Texas with Steve, my roommate. I felt awesome then. I felt really proud of myself. And the thing is, it becomes real too, because for me, these periods can last a few months. So it's a few months of feeling good, but then I also have like really good behavior during those months, like really healthy, working out a ton, being creative. So it's kind of this elevated mood, but then also the kind of the results are picking up too. But anyway, I think what's more valuable to say is that when I've had these feelings, it's not, even though I did just mention the results and like the external factors, it's not closely correlated with that. It could come out of nowhere. And I don't, even for example, like when kratom has worked really well, because the effects are pretty inconsistent for me. But
The
once in
effects
a
of
while, I'll
kratom
take.
are
Sorry?
inconsistent. You're saying the results of kratom are very inconsistent?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
I wonder why that
Yeah,
is.
no. Yeah. Some no, it's okay. Sometimes that's a good distinction. Sometimes I would take it because I would take it every day for a little while, and sometimes I would take it. I'd feel like a little bit more energy, but sometimes I would take it, and my mood would just be way fucking better. All the things, all the small worries I would have, it would be gone, and I would start thinking like long term. I would think, oh, I have these goals, I have these ideas, and anyway, whenever I would be in those states, I would just kind of be okay with myself. So I don't know how to make this into like actionable advice, but this is my observation through a long time of going through different moods. There is like a hormonal or chemistry thing that dictates how we feel and how our self-esteem is. And in general, I think when you're at the lower end of that spectrum, whether it's associated with depression or low self-esteem or whatever it is, you think you might be able to fix these things and then reach that other stage, but it's not like that actually. That other stage is it's accessed a different way. I know I'm not really explaining myself well, but I think I'm making the point anyway that it's not correlated extremely well the external. It's an internal thing. It really is.
Yeah. And I've always struggled internally getting to a point where I was like, oh, okay, this is where I want to be. I feel great here. I don't know. I just never had that. And maybe it's because I don't have manic depression.
What about just I think the kratom is a good example. What about just like drugs or alcohol? Haven't you ever like gotten pretty drunk or pretty high or something, and then you just kind of have that different mindset, and you know what I'm talking about when the
Yeah.
worries kind of go away and you start just feeling good?
Yeah. But I started thinking about it after I asked you that question about the inconsistencies in your moods after taking kratom. I mean, you see that with a lot of drugs though, and alcohol. Like if you drink when you're sad, then you become a crying, mumbling prick. There are times where you feel drunk, you get drunk, and it's a party. There are other times where you see people turn to just completely depressed.
Yep.
It just depends, I guess, on how far you are on that seesaw of happy, sad. Where are you when you take that substance?
But you personally, haven't you had that experience? Maybe you weren't feeling so good, and then a substance changed it, and you were feeling good.
Um, hmm. Alcohol usually helps if you're like, but it's just different every time. It's very inconsistent. But yeah, obviously, yeah, there's been plenty of times where I've been like, oh shit, and then been like, ah shit. It
Mm.
changed. The oh shit changes.
I think that's I'm not sure, but that seems to me that it's proof on some level that it's not only external factors, that it's in some part chemical or hormonal or something. I'm thinking of other drugs now too. Ecstasy, when it's good, has that effect. Like
Oh,
there's
I've only had great times on MDMA.
yeah, and
Oh, yeah.
if
Nothing but
your experience was anything like mine, it's like the same thing I just mentioned before is all that stuff I was worrying about, whatever insecurity I had, gone. Now it's just about life is awesome. I love these people.
yeah. People you
That's it.
don't know, you talk to for 2 seconds, and you're like, I think you could like potentially be my best friend and maybe my life partner.
Yeah.
Like, you can't focus on the things that are bothering you because you're focused on how fucking good the floor feels.
I
You know?
think that word you just said is very important in this discussion too. Focus. I think
Yes.
that might be one of the keys. And that's what I've noticed in these shifting states, whether it's due to mood disorder in my case, or drugs, or whatever the fuck. It's about focus. It's like, let's say I'm all of a sudden in a great mood. I am not delusional in any serious sense. I understand that those problems or insecurities are still there, but I'm not focused on them.
Yes.
All of a sudden, I'm focused on the good things. So that's what it is. Focus. And I'm not saying far from it. I'm saying the opposite. I'm not saying you could change it in an instant. A lot of people say that. I don't know. Maybe I can't do that. But something happens, and that's what it is. Is focus.
Yeah, because if you think about it, it's very obvious. If there's two tasks that you have, you focus more on one. You're not going to neglect this one, but you'll check in on it once in a while. The one that you're primarily focused on is going to come out better, and it's going to be better results with that other task. So same thing with like moods and different things throughout your day. Focus on the good parts of it. This sounds very cheesy and self-helpy, but it's pretty true, right? If you were to take your life, look at it and say, oh, I have all these bills, I have this student loan, I have, I have to go to work. Or you could just say, in my instance, like I married my best friend and we have a home together and we have a dog, and that's fucking great. Focus on that aspect rather than the other. Like the other stuff is going to get taken care of, right? Obviously, like financial stuff. Hopefully, I mean, I guess not for everybody, but hopefully that stuff's going to get taken care of as long as you do what you're supposed to be doing, working, saving your money properly, but focusing on, what you actually have. Then it'll be different for everyone, obviously.
That's the trick, dude. Yeah. How do you keep that in mind? And there's some people that say, well, you got to have a gratitude journal, write down things you appreciate every day. Maybe that works. I never stuck to that.
That sounds cheesy, but I feel like it definitely has some weight to it.
Good. Yeah. Because I actually had a moment like you're talking about today when I was texting a friend that I haven't spoken to in a long time. It's a guy I met in Thailand, and we just keep in touch once in a while. And we kind of update each other on everything. And I was leaving him these voicemails, and I'm going through my troubles, like what I'm thinking about or what my worries are. And then I inevitably I have to say, like, everything's good. My life is good.
Yeah.
Why am I? And I'm saying this in the voicemail. I'm saying, well, if I could just stop worrying about this stuff. And what you said too is interesting, because you're right. A lot of the things, almost everything actually, in my case, that I worry about day to day, it's the same stuff that I look back 6 months ago. It was either the exact same issues. So, all right, just fucking live with it. All right, you're a little fat, whatever. It's not that fucking big of a deal, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or it's these other little administrative tasks and things. Like I got to go to the fucking doctor. I got to go to the dentist. And like you said, they take care of themselves. They do. Either it's a big deal and you eventually have to take care of it, or it's not a big deal and you just don't take care of it. It doesn't matter. So why do we let those things occupy so much of our mind?
And when you do take care of it, you're like, oh, that really wasn't what I made it out to be.
Yep.
Huh. I mean, as guys that hate doing things, you and I, like having these like I had so much anxiety recently because I'm going on a cruise in October. I lost my passport.
Oh shit.
So it was this thing where I had my passport that was expired. And I was like, I just have to renew it. I'll do it. And I kept putting it off. Eventually lost that expired passport. I hate you. Eventually lost that expired passport. And then it was like, all right, so I have 3 months. I need to get my passport done. I need to apply for a new one. And no matter how much anxiety I had about going to the post office, like even I made an appointment, couldn't go because I got stuck at work. Then I had another appointment and I was actually able to go. And I was nervous about going to the post office because I thought I didn't want to get that news like, you're out of time, bud. Like, there's no way this is going to happen. Or, oh, you filled this out wrong. You have to go do that. So it was one of those like, I really fucked myself because we have going on a cruise. Okay. Everything's paid for.
Is it taken care of now?
Yeah, I applied for the passport. I just got to wait for it to come in. He said 7 weeks. I expedited that shit.
How did you lose it?
I don't know. I have a little bit of an inkling. Okay, Michelle doesn't want to admit it, but I had it on the counter. All of a sudden, not on the counter. Someone touched it. Wasn't me. I know that.
You think she threw it away?
Maybe on accident.
Jesus, a passport?
No, probably not. I because there was another. So when I was getting ready to go, I had gathered all my materials. I had my passport application, my social, and my birth certificate. And she's like, just put it in the pink binder so you don't lose it. Now, if you break into my house, you know where my stuff is. It's in a pink binder. Where in the house? Not gonna tell you. Good luck getting by my dog. He does not like intruders.
I don't want your personal identification. I'm going to go for the money and other valuables. I don't care about your passport and your birth certificate.
Well, the money's in the walls. Don't trust the banks. So that's not true. I lost it all in crypto. I went and looked in the binder where I was supposed to put it, and I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. I couldn't find it. I was like, it's not in the pink binder. What the fuck happened? I'm flipping out. Like, someone moved it. It was in my bag for work because I was supposed to go Friday. COVID couldn't. So it was in my bag and I moved it. So who knows? I could have actually lost it, but it's easier for me to shift the blame elsewhere in case I don't get to go on the cruise. Maybe you didn't lose my passport, you know? I can blame it on someone else. And that segment was me disproving that I am actually a good husband and I shouldn't be confident in it. Shifting blame to my wife.
Give me the cruise details.
I don't have any of them. So
Company.
Carnival. It's the biggest ship in the world. No, it's
Is it
not
really?
Carnival. No.
Norwegian, Royal Caribbean.
Royal Caribbean. I think that's it.
It's a nice cruise.
And it's the big ship.
Where are you going?
Don't know.
How many nights?
It's a week.
Ooh.
So I have
You ever done
fantastic
it before?
in-laws. Yeah. I have fantastic in-laws. And on Christmas, they said, hey, your gifts for all of next year, including this Christmas, we're taking the family on a cruise. So they booked it. They told me the stuff, but I'm just going along for the ride. You know, I don't get caught up too much in the details. I'm just very excited to go.
That's a good time, man. I like cruises.
Yeah. And, you know, they get a bad rap. People are like, well, they're terrible for the environment, understandably so, but they're running whether I'm going on it or not. So I'm going on it. And people, oh, it's not, cruises aren't for forward thinkers. You just get in line, get your food, and go to an island, and then they tell you to get back. Cruises suck. I'm like, no. When I vacation, I want to be able to turn my brain off sometimes. Not every vacation, but there are vacations where I don't have to worry about cooking or finding a place to eat. I just go find it. It's on the ship. I don't have to worry about laundry, finding these tasks. They just say, hey, here's a bunch of stuff you can do if you want. Take it. Sure thing. I can turn my brain off completely. I went on a 2-week cruise a few years ago. And
That's a long time.
Yeah, I didn't remember how to be a person when I got back.
Yep.
The thought of doing anything, I was like, I gotta do dishes? Like I didn't want to do it. It was so hard adjusting back to normal life of having tasks to do.
There's a hilarious short story, or maybe it's called an essay, by David Foster Wallace about cruises. It's called A Supposedly Fun Thing I'll Never Do Again. And he takes a pretty pessimistic view of cruises, but there is so much truth in that article. And one of the main points he's talking about is exactly that you're pampered. That's the word they use in the advertisements, and it's true. You're pampered to such a degree there that you really become less of an autonomous being.
Yeah.
You really lose your ability to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's good and bad, but it's a fun time. I like it.
I think the first cruise is what set me on this to where I am today, to why I'm so overweight. I swear to God, dude, I was eating because it's just all paid for. So we would go to like this, like we paid a little extra for like this certain restaurant where you can go nightly. It's a very nice restaurant, pretty fancy, but it's all like it's taken care of.
Oh yeah, you're at the big round table with other people you don't know and the people
No,
you're with.
this
right?
one we had just a table of people we knew.
Okay.
So it was a nice restaurant and the food was good. They had one meal on the menu that was there almost nightly, but it obviously switched. But they always had the bolognese, which was a dinner portion, and then other stuff like meat. I would get the bolognese as just a little side, and I would also get the other thing.
Sure.
I
Yeah, you can do that.
haven't recovered since that cruise. That's why I looked the way I do today. That cruise did me in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That did me in so well, and it put me on this path of just destruction of my bowels.
Yeah, there's just no limit
Yeah.
at all. It definitely varies by cruise ship and cruise company or whatever, but I think the last one I went on, they had this burger place. Maybe it was Bobby Flay's or Guy Fieri. I think it was Guy Fieri. He had a burger place on the
I was
cruise
gonna
ship.
say, because you might be thinking of Mohegan Sun, who has the Guy Fieri, or no,
I was
Bobby Flay.
Yeah, I was. You're right.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
No, that's what I was thinking of. But this one was Guy Fieri. And anyway, they got like a burger place, they got like a Mexican place, and you can just go to those places all you want, all day. You can go as many times as you want. And anytime you get a little bit bored or a little bit hungry, just eat a full meal.
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
So I don't know if it has to do with me coming up as a poor kid, but when free food's involved, I will overindulge.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, it's here? Good. Food.
Yeah.
Like free, like lunch at work, there's pizza. I have my fair share. And then I notice there's a lot left. Not hungry. Gonna eat it because it tastes good.
Somebody's got to eat it.
Yeah. It's more insulting to let it go bad.
Exactly.
So yeah, cruise is coming up. Passport's taken care of. And I feel
in October.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna find out more information on the cruise because I have been a little curious. I'm hoping it stops in Puerto Rico or something because I have a friend there that I haven't seen in a while, and that would be nice. So,
Friend in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, he's from here. Well, no, he's from Mexico, but someone I went to jiu-jitsu with, who I keep in contact with regularly, moved down there for work and is going to come back in a few years. Went down there for a good opportunity in his current company, so he will be back. But it would be nice to be able to stop in and give him a hug.
Cool.
Yeah. So very excited for the cruise. I need a vacation. How was you're back in Bali? That's something we completely glossed over.
It is very boring.
Yeah, I can tell. So are you and Tika still cohabitating at this point?
No, we are. I'm her neighbor.
That's nice.
Yeah, this place I moved into is the place she was staying at before. She's been here for, I think, 6 months or so. And yeah, I think I mentioned this before, but they raised the rent at my old place. So I kind of moved all my stuff into her place before we left. We spent a month in Sumba. We got back, and a room down the hall from her has opened up, and it is less than $200 a month, and it's not bad at all. So
no, like it looks nice.
Here I am. Dude, it is totally fine. It's got a kitchen, a bathroom, and it's totally comfortable and everything. So for $200, all right.
Yeah. I just want to say this is the most Kyle way to go about eventually living with your significant other. Try it out. Live next door until eventually you just still needed to have your own spot. Live down the hall.
Always you always like think like it's on this track. You always put me
I'm not putting you on a track. I'm just saying this is the most Kyle way.
It
To
was
like,
totally out of my control. Well, not really, I guess, but
I mean, the deal, you
Yeah.
couldn't pass it up.
yeah.
Yeah, you did the trial run and everything went really good when you guys were constantly with each other. But you mentioned you miss your own space. Now you have your own space down the hall. This is what a man cave becomes, Kyle. This is
Is
why
that
when
right?
yeah, this is like your man cave right now. You're going to be with each other all the time, but you still have that spot in case you want to go to it and, have your own time. But this, you're just building a longer distance man cave at the moment. That's how I
What if I
see
want
it.
to go to a man cave for like 3 days? Can I do that?
I mean, you can do that now, but just right down the hall.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. So guarantee the 3 days will be interrupted multiple times.
Yeah, basically has to be.
Yeah. Or you're just a real piece of shit. The person you love is like, hey, you're like, no, I'm in the cave. Imagine I did that in here, just playing Xbox, lock the door. Michelle, you can't come in. Sorry, just slide the food under.
See, that's the thing. And I don't know if that's even like the commonly held belief, the popular idea. But why am I a piece of shit if I just need my own space? Why is that seen as such a bad thing?
No, that doesn't make you a piece of shit. I think it's a good thing. Everyone needs their own space. They say it's in order to have a healthy relationship, you need to have boundaries and set your own limits and have your own space. But
Yeah.
You're essentially in a man cave right now.
Yeah,
That's where your own space is. This is kind of my space. She invaded it with some photos, but I don't care. It would have just been a blank wall. But I got the Arsenal flag here. I got that there. I got my Xbox. I got this. Once I have a basement, once I move to a bigger house and have like a big basement, you don't think that's gonna be my spot? She doesn't know that yet, but she doesn't have a choice in the matter because I'm a good husband and I'm very confident in that I can take over the basement.
You are, and you should be. There is a point in there that I think is worth expanding on. The whole needing, meeting your own needs and having boundaries. People talk about how important it is, but I have a personal way I can reflect on it. And that is that when I fail to do that, and especially in the context of kind of wanting to please your partner. Let's say you say, actually, this goes back to that post that we read, the Reddit one. When you sacrifice your own needs, when I do it, I should speak for myself, but I think this is probably true for many people. When I sacrifice my own needs, trying to please my partner, I actually become a worse partner as a consequence down the line. Because what happens is I sacrifice my own needs, then I feel in a worse mood. I start resenting my partner. And then ironically, I think that's pretty ironic. Yeah, you're trying to do the right thing that they want, and then you end up kind of acting like an asshole. And that's that even happened a couple times in the month we were together, because I had my space a couple times. We talked about this last week. I had my space sometimes, but it just wasn't enough. And when that need for my own space wasn't being met, I started to feel worse, and I would start being like snappier and less compassionate, less loving. So there is a point in there. It's like, it's really important to meet your own needs.
Yes. So you're doing that right now, meeting your own needs. And I think eventually you guys are going to be cohabitating. I'm just predicting.
See, this is what you're doing. This is what you said you don't do this, but you are doing it right now. You're pushing me.
I'm pushing you.
You're the old aunt that's like, when are you having a baby?
Yeah. When you gonna settle down? Yeah.
Listen, Auntie Chris, I don't need this shit.
I'm Auntie Christine.
Yeah.
When I talk like this, I'm Auntie Christine.
You're going to give me a Werther's original.
Yeah. Werther's originals are actually pretty good.
They're not.
Yeah. They're not bad.
Come on the list of candies and treats.
I'll never buy them myself, but if they're available. Yeah. What is your top candy?
That's changed in over the years, but I think I just got to be faithful to Reese's. Just
my man.
Boom. You like that?
Oh yeah, big Reese's peanut butter guy. The Take 5 with the Reese's in it. The Take 5. Oh, if you haven't had a Take 5,
I have.
I used to be a big fast break guy too.
I think it was Fast Break. They're pretty damn similar. Fast Break and Take Five.
Fast Break is just the nougat, the peanut butter, chocolate caramel. The Take Five adds a little bit of pretzel in there. And the
I thought
pretzel's
Take
big.
Five, or I thought it had some sort of a cookie in it.
Nope. Pretzel.
All right, well,
Maybe the
whichever
Fast Break
one.
did.
If maybe it was Fast Break. I got severely constipated from eating too many of those when I was a kid.
That's so awesome. That's so fun.
I don't remember how many I ate or why I had access to so many.
It's because
but
it
I
was probably
ate
around Halloween
a
or
lot,
someone bought a
too many.
bag that was on sale. Bag of Fast Breaks on sale. They didn't move on Halloween, so guess what? Kyle took care.
Whichever one it was had like big chunks of peanut. I think this is why. Oh, no. It wasn't one of those. Which one am I thinking of?
Don't tell me Almond Joy. I'll be sick.
No. It was a Reese's product.
Nutrageous.
Yes, Nutrageous. Yes.
Those are good too.
I got severely constipated because I ate too many Nutrageous.
And all the peanuts just backed you up.
It hurt so bad, dude. It hurt so bad.
That is so funny and such a fat kid thing to do.
Yeah.
I had too many Nutrageouses.
Yeah, dude.
But once you start, you can't stop.
So what is your top candy?
It's definitely probably Take Five. I don't really indulge in candy or sweets too much.
Okay.
But
yeah, I
Take
go
Five.
through phases, but yeah, kind of me too. I'm kind of a more savory guy lately.
I'm a big chip guy.
Not a chip guy.
Oh, why? Why?
It's just not that good. It's just not good enough.
You're not eating the right chips.
Could be.
So
No, I couldn't be. I've had all the chips.
you've had all the chips. Bold.
Maybe not all the chips, but I've had a lot of chips.
I don't know. I'm a big chip guy, chips and salsa. Maybe it's I'm more of a dip guy than I am a chip guy. Maybe I should say it that way.
All right. Yeah.
I love the
guess I can
dips.
respect that. Yeah.
Like I have chips in the cupboard right now. They're just the Lay's Wavy original. Normally
I like those.
very salty, but I also got a jar of French onion dip in the fridge.
Well, that's all right. That's all right. I was into Ruffles.
The
for a
sour
while.
cream and cheddar Ruffles.
Original.
Have you had the sour cream and cheddar Ruffles?
I'm not really into the sour cream and cheddar flavoring. I
Oh,
think it's
no.
one of the things I don't like the fake flavoring. Like I know this is gonna get me a lot of heat. I hate Doritos so much. I think they're awful. Yep, I've lost him. He's not happy with me right now.
Why? Because of the fake flavoring?
Yeah, it's just gross. Like I don't even know
Oh,
what it
see.
is. What is it?
I think it's because I was the kind of fat kid that loved processed foods, dude. Chef Boyardee, Cosmic Brownies, Cheese Whiz. I love Cheese Whiz. That's the fakest cheese ever.
All disgusting to me. Cheese Whiz is nasty.
You see, I don't like it now. I do still like me some melty cheese though. Some like queso melty cheese. It has got to be a good one though, because although I loved it as a kid, I've stepped up my palate. I have a more refined palate now. So it needs to be quality queso.
The processed stuff doesn't bother me when it's sweet stuff for some reason, but for some reason it's gross when it's a savory stuff. Maybe it's because the savory stuff is kind of an imitation of the real stuff.
Yeah.
And cheese is the best example of that. Like any sort of fake cheese really grosses me out.
Oh, you know what I learned? Speaking of cheese, there are cheese caves in Missouri. There's
Cheese caves.
146 tons of cheese stored in caves in Missouri. I forgot which presidential administration this was, but they wanted to raise the price of milk. But they couldn't just buy all the milk and store it. So they bought up all the excess cheese from all the farmers. And they stored the cheese in cheese caves. Yes, hold on. I got to get the exact number for you. But this is a real thing.
For the purpose of raising the price of milk?
Or maybe helping out farmers, but I'm going to stick with them being malicious.
Yeah, it sounds like a subsidy.
1.4 billion pounds of cheese in limestone caves in Springfield, Missouri.
This is really kind of it's funny.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's really strange.
I would like to visit the cheese caves. Yeah.
kind of bewildering.
Yeah. Who would have
So the
thought?
government just built. Okay, I found it too. 7 million pounds of dairy. The government bought this and they just put it in a cave because they don't know
Yeah.
what else to do with it. Is that what happened?
Yes.
Don't
Yes.
we have like a lot of hungry people in the world?
Yeah, we do. So I want to read a little more on this, but the
We're
title
such
of this
assholes.
one,
Americans are such assholes. We just bought billions of dollars worth of cheese and just put it in a cave.
yeah, for decades, but the purpose has shifted over the years. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to get some more information, but I heard this on another podcast and I was blown away. That's so America. That's where we should be lighting off the fireworks every year and having hot dogs.
Is it about aging the cheese? I'm reading something about aging the cheese.
It's not about aging the cheese. There's something malicious going on. They wanted to raise the price of milk.
I love the idea of in this article it says more than 1.4 billions of natural cheese are stored in cold storage. That just makes me think of storing money. Like I love the idea of having assets in cheese.
Yeah, I got a lot of money tied up in cheese right now.
Yeah, exactly. How much of your net worth is in cheese? I got about 20% cheese.
Yeah, I'm 20% cheese, 15% crypto, and the rest is liquid. Liquid cheese, not liquid cash, it's liquid cheese. So I've got a lot tied up in liquid cheese at the moment.
I'm flush with
Yeah.
cheese.
Yeah. So if you ever want to go down a rabbit hole, look at the cheese.
I think I will. How can I not?
Yeah. I think that might be a good point to wrap it up. I forgot to start the timer. So hopefully we went for an hour. I think maybe we did, maybe a little more.
I think we went for over. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's perfect. Any closing words from you, Kyle?
Yeah, there's nothing I can say that 1.4 billion pounds of cheese doesn't already say.
Yep. So that wraps it up. Look up the cheese caves and let me know your thoughts. Oh yeah, Instagram Tito Bulls and KyleCast ATX. KyleCast no longer exists, no longer lives in Texas. Don't just shake your head. Bye.